everyone, Chris Yates here, coming to you from Hartford, Connecticut at the Fortune Builders 4-day marketing and wholesale boot camp. Now, I came out here today to just speak to the students here for a couple of hours, and rather than taking a question via email like I usually do on this on the blog page at cm8s.net, I decided to take some actual live questions from the students here. So with me, I'm with Kevin, Daniel, and Julio, all at the event with me here. Now, these guys have been in the business for a little while, and I've actually seen some of them at previous events, so I wanted them to come and ask some questions that would benefit some other investors and students that watch these videos. So I'm just going to take a couple of quick questions, and then we'll go from there. So, Kevin.
Thanks again. I appreciate your time, Chris. It's always great. For new investors, what are some of the better ways for people with not much experience in the investing game to attract private lenders?
Okay. So, one of the first things, especially when people haven't done a deal before, is they ask, well, gosh, I don't have any credibility, nobody knows who I am, so how can I get private money? And, the answer is you always need to start recruiting private money, of course, before your first deal. It's important to do it immediately, and you start with your circle of influence. Start with people that you already know, and if those people, if you feel like, gosh, there's no one I know that's going to lend me money to do a deal, you need to associate yourself with experienced individuals. So you come to these kind of events, these seminars, boot camps, you meet guys like this who are already in the business and doing a good job with it, and you start to team up with them and you borrow their credibility. So if you have a mentor, a consultant, not necessarily a business partner, but a partner in information, that's usually a really good way to start building that trust with private lenders, to show them that it's not just you, it's other people that are more experienced helping to make sure that project's going to go well.
Great, thanks.
Daniel, you go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Great presentation today. I know a lot of people have asked me about self-directed IRAs, and you touched base on that subject today. Could you tell us a little bit more about how you can use your retirement money for your own benefit?
Sure. The question is self-directed IRAs, and how can you access that money for your own benefit? Well, right now a lot of investors have lost a lot of money in the stock market, mutual funds, and they're looking for a safer place to put their funds. And when I say safe, not necessarily meaning a lower risk in terms of potential for loss, but what I mean is asset-backed, and really asset-backed, secured by a property and insured, and there's something to it rather than, the stock, it can go up or down because the CEO retired or they filed bankruptcy or who knows what happened, but it has nothing to do with you. In this case, the investment is safer just because it's more accessible and secure to every investor. So IRA money is a great source of funding for your deals right now because there's so much of it. People pulled all their money out of the stock market because they were afraid. Now it's sitting there in these CDs, money market accounts, earning 1 or 2%, and you're able to offer them a significantly higher yield in a much safer, secured investment than they can get anywhere else. So there's a plethora of new money there on the market just waiting to be used up from these new investors. So I would say the best way to go after IRA capital is just to talk about what you do and mention that it is available within an IRA, that you can, it's an investment that can be used in a self-directed IRA. Sure.
Yeah, I am interested, Chris, in going abroad and seeking out international investors to come and take advantage of the opportunity in the real estate market in here. And I was wondering if you have any experience in that or looking into that. I know that you are trying to get your office to go virtual and go beyond and abroad. So maybe you could tell us a little bit of that.
Sure, and the biggest thing to take into account when you're talking about foreign investments, foreign capital, is that real estate markets are different all over the world. And so the United States has some advantages over other economies and other real estate markets, and it has some disadvantages. So you really have to take into account, if you're going to bring in foreign capital, what's going on where that investor is, and do they have options available, and how can you benefit them by bringing them into the United States? Now, the U.S. right now, depending on the city you're in, has a lot of undervalued property. There are cities that are already starting their recovery. Take Denver, for instance, where I'm from. Job growth is good. Most of the foreclosures have happened. Will there be another wave? Maybe, but prices have mostly stabilized. So you take foreign capital and you show them an opportunity like that. You're not necessarily offering them a piece of the deal, but you're offering them a safer return because it is still, like I said before, a secure investment. So, but when it comes to bringing in private capital, be careful. There are some regulations on how you raise the money. And there's a few more things to talk about. So, and I can't obviously get into too much of that here, but I would say get a competent securities attorney to talk to that has experience with foreign investments. And I would recommend mine is Jillian Sidoti. You can find her at jilliansidoti.com, and she'll answer some questions for you about foreign investing and bringing money in and out of this country and others. But if you're going to do that, there's definitely a few extra things you need to know about. So I'd say research that ahead of time, but you can absolutely use foreign investors for your domestic deals. And if you have relationships that are pre-existing, I'd say pursue those. If you don't, pursue whatever is easiest for you. I wouldn't say to go outside the country just to find foreign capital if you can still get it domestically.
Right.
But if you have those relationships, absolutely go ahead and use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's all we have time for today, but I appreciate everyone watching this on either YouTube or at our video blog page on cmates.net. Now, I'm going to post a link to all these guys' websites so you can see what they're up to. They're successful students. If for some reason they don't have a website up right now, I'm still going to give you some contact information so that if you want to get a hold of them, ask some questions of them about what they're doing, what kind of markets they're in, maybe some partnership opportunities for you with these guys. Being at an event like this, they're very educated, they know what they're doing, and so check them out for sure. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks a lot.